Hi triathletes, Triathlon Tessa here. Welcome back to another episode where today I'll be showing you guys the 10 things that you need to buy when you first start out in triathlon. So before you think of entering your first race, just make sure that these 10 things are in your cupboard or somewhere in your house so that you can use it when you participate in your first triathlon. So you guys all know there's 3 disciplines in triathlon: swim, bike and run. And today I'll be sharing with you guys what the 10 things you need to complete your first triathlon. The first thing, when we look at swimming, the first thing that you need while swimming is you will need a pair of swimming cozy, or for the guys you can use a onesie. So either way, just make sure that you have something to practice your swim in, because I don't think they'll let you swim in your underwear or make you swim in other clothing. So make sure the first thing on your list is you have a pair of swimming clothing, either a pair of trunks for the guys or a onesie or a cozy or whatever you feel comfortable swimming in the swimming pool. So the first thing on your list should be some swimming clothes. Then the next thing, you would need some goggles. Now there's a couple of different swimming goggles out there. My preference is one that has a bit of a bigger lens, because when you do open water swimming you want to see a bit more and see the people around you. So I use one that's has a bit bigger eye lens, but there's also regular ones out there. You guys can choose which one you like best, but I would first suggest that you put them on before you buy them, as they might fit differently on your head. Then the 2 options that you have out there as well, you'll find normal swimming goggles, and then you'll find polarized swimming goggles. Now the only difference between these 2 is the polarized swimming goggles will help you like sunglasses when you swim into the sun. So you can either decide you want a pair of normal swimming goggles or a pair of polarized swimming goggles. But these polarized swimming goggles would also work when you swim in the swimming pool. So it doesn't matter what kind of swimming goggles you get, as long as you have a pair of swimming goggles, because your eyes would thank you later on when you have a pair of swimming goggles when you finish the swim part of the race. So the first thing you'll need will be a pair of swimming clothing, and the next thing you'll need is a pair of glasses. Then these next couple of things you don't need to buy, as you will find them in your local swimming pool. You can just go to the cupboard and take them out, use them while you swim, and then just go and put them back when you're done. So the first thing that you can find in your local swimming pool closet would be a pool buoy. We use this for pool sets, and I'll speak a bit about that in one of our next sessions. Then a pair of flippers. It's also very nice if you want to improve your swimming, or just swim a bit further and just save your legs for a running session or a hard bike session later in the day. But you'll find the flippers in the local swimming closet as well. Just make sure about the size, as they have different sizes, and make sure that they fit to your feet. And then the third thing that you can find in your local swimming pool would be a kickboard. You will use this when you do kick sets, so please go and look at your local swimming pool and use these 3 items from your swimming pool's closet. You don't need to buy them. Then the next thing in your triathlon would be your cycling. So let's see what you need for cycling. The first thing that I would suggest is get yourself a helmet, because they won't let you do the cycling part of the race if you don't wear a helmet on your head. So make sure that you buy yourself a nice helmet, and also make sure that it fits nicely, as you get small, medium, large, extra large and kiddie. So make sure that the helmet fits nice on your head, and tighten it in the shop to make sure that it's not loose and goes to the back and front. Then the next thing you'll need while cycling, that will be the 4th thing, would be a pair of cycling clothing. So you can go and buy yourself a cycling jersey and a cycling pants, or you can go and buy yourself something without sleeves. I like those with sleeves, as they protect your shoulders, and it's very nice and comfy as well, and aerodynamic as well. So the 4th thing that I'll suggest is go and buy yourself a nice cycling jersey, one that you can wear when practicing as well as when you participate in races. Just make sure that it's tight and snug, so you're very aero when you use it, and you can use it in the race as well as in training. And then the 5th thing I'll suggest you buy would be a pair of nice cycling shorts. Make sure that the padding at the back is very nice and that it's very comfy as well. I would also suggest that you try on the cycling shorts to make sure that the fit is correct for you. You'll see the pad at the back is very thick, so I won't suggest that you race in this, and for this I'll suggest you buy something like this. So for this cycling part, when you participate in the triathlon, I would suggest you buy tri shorts, they call them. You'll see the padding at the back isn't as thick as the cycling shorts. Don't worry, you will still feel comfortable while riding them. So I'll suggest go and buy yourself a nice jersey and cycling shorts, and then when you do the triathlon, just wear your triathlon specific pants. Or if you want to go a step further, instead of just buying the pants, you can go and buy yourself a tri suit. You'll see that's a one piece that you need to wear, and the padding at the back isn't as thick as the cycling shorts, but it will still give you enough padding to finish the race. So you have one of two choices. You can either go and buy yourself a cycling shorts, and then for the race go and buy yourself a pair of triathlon specific shorts, or a tri suit, which would be a one piece. Then the next thing in cycling, I would suggest you go and buy yourself a pair of nice glasses, because if you're going about 20-30 kilometers an hour, the wind will be a problem and there might be some insects flying into your eyes. So I suggest go and buy yourself a pair of nice glasses. You can either use ones that you have lying around at the house. It's just a pair of normal glasses, and you'll also use this on the run as well. So you can use it for cycling and for running. Then the next thing when you get to cycling would be your bicycle. What type of bicycle do you use? When you look at your bicycles, I would suggest do not go out and buy yourself a brand new bicycle. Go to your garage or wherever you store your bicycles and go and look at what bicycle you have available. For your first triathlon race, I would suggest go and cycle with what you have. You don't need to go and buy something new. Just make sure that you have something to race on. I would suggest that you have your own bicycle, as you would also need to practice on it for your triathlon as well. So if you try and use someone else's bike, make sure that you can use them for training as well. So there's 3 different options that you can use. First off, you can use a mountain bike. There's nothing wrong with a mountain bike. I've completed in sprint, Olympic, half Ironman and full Ironman distances, and there are still people riding their mountain bike because they feel comfortable on their mountain bike. So if you have a mountain bike lying around somewhere, you're more than welcome to use the mountain bike for your first triathlon, or even for your second and your third as well. Don't go spending unnecessary money that you do not have. So first, you can have your mountain bike, or if you have a road bike, or you want to buy an entry-level bike, you can go and buy yourself a road bike. You'll see I have some tri bars here on the road bike, but it's not necessary. For your first race, you can use your road bike as well. And then for you guys that want to go into the sport with a bang, you can go and buy yourself a tri bike as well. Just make sure that you get comfortable on both the road bike and the tri bike, as it's very different from riding your mountain bike. Make sure that if you have a tri bike, that you get used to the tri position and also how to stand, sit up and go down as well, because your gears would be over here, but your brakes would be down there. So make sure that you know how to ride your tri bike before you ride a tri bike in a race. The same with a road bike. Just make sure the handling is a bit different from a mountain bike. Once again, if you add some tri bars on your normal road bike, make sure you know how to handle them, because once again, you would be riding over here and then your brakes would be over here again. So make sure you know how to ride tri bars before you put them on your bike, or you know how to ride a tri bike. But I would suggest if you first are new to triathlon, just use your old mountain bike. You would have no problem for that as well. So mountain bike, road bike or tri bike. You don't need to go and buy a brand new one. I bought all my bikes second hand because in my back of my head it feels like I can buy more stuff if I buy decent second hand stuff. I'll put a link into the video to tell you guys where you can look in South Africa for second hand bikes, which is a very safe website. They are called the Bike Hub. They're very safe and the prices are reasonable if you buy second hand stuff. And most of the people really look after their stuff, so you know you're buying really great stuff. And then now we're on to running, the last discipline in triathlon. For running, you don't really need much. I would just suggest that you have a pair of nice running shoes that you can run in. and just make sure that they fit as well. When it comes to running, you'll see that running shoes, there are different types of running shoes out there. I would just suggest that when you go and buy running shoes, that you rather go and buy one size bigger than your normal shoe size. As with running, your feet will swell, and if you do longer distances, your feet will get cramped up in your shoes, and sometimes your toes will go numb. So for running, the only thing I suggest you buy is a pair of tackies. You'll see I haven't suggested anything for cycling shoes. If you're first and new into triathlon, in your first race, instead of getting used to the clip-in bars, I would suggest go and ride it with your normal running shoes. So then you don't need to go and buy a lot of stuff for your first race. You would be able to do it with most of the things that you can find around your house, and just need to go and buy one or two things. So the last thing that I'll suggest that you buy when you first start out in triathlon would be something for recovery. So you can either use a small ball like this one to use on your stiff muscles. So use this at least once or twice a week on those areas that you feel are really stiff. Or the other thing that you can buy would be a foam roller. This is very nice. This is a very long one, but you also get small ones that you can travel with as well. But I would really suggest that you either buy a foam roller or a spiky ball to roll out your stiff muscles. So that would have been the 10th thing that you buy. So just to quickly recap, the 10 things that you need before you can complete your first triathlon, I would suggest is the first thing you go and buy is a pair of swimming clothing. So either pants for the guys or a cozy for the ladies. Then the next thing, second, would be a pair of swim goggles, because you would need to see where you're swimming. The third thing I suggest you go and buy is a helmet that you can use in your races and in training, as you need one before you can enter into the race. The fourth thing was a pair of cycling jersey, and the fifth thing would have been a pair of cycling shorts. The sixth thing that I suggest would have been either a tri-specific pants or a tri-suit or onesie that you can use in your triathlon. So that would have been the sixth thing. The seventh thing I suggested would be that you get yourself a pair of glasses, sunglasses. You can use that either on the swim, either on the bike or the run. And then the next thing you would have needed is a bike, either a mountain bike, a road bike, or a TT bike. But I suggest for your first race, either use a mountain bike or a road bike if you have to go and buy one. Then the second last thing, I suggest you get yourself a pair of tackies. Most of you would have that lying around the house. And then the last thing I suggest would be something for recovery, either a spiky ball or a foam roller. So that's my 10 things that I think you need before you can do your first triathlon. In the next couple of videos, I'll be speaking about zone training, the different types of zones that you need to train in to effectively train, as well as which zones you need to race in. Then I'll also look into your training week. How should you plan your training week, and how should your training plan look? And that's it for today, triathletes. Looking forward to the next session. Keep up the hard work and keep up the training. See you guys soon.